What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Ecom Academy channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about patents and trademarks, and I'm going to be explaining exactly how you can see if the product that you want to launch on Amazon is patented or if there is a trademark for the brand name that you're thinking of. And I'm going to very easily explain to you what a patent is, what a trademark is. You know, I know that we're not lawyers. I'm not a lawyer, so that's a little disclaimer. This information is just based on what I've learned myself, but if you want to, clarify, obviously contact a lawyer. There are plenty of lawyers out there that are able to assist, although they are expensive. But myself, I just learned, through just launching e-commerce product and brand. So we're going to start off this video first by talking about what the definition of a patent is and what the definition of a trademark is. I think there's a lot of confusion here and how that applies to selling on Amazon. So I'm going to try to make this the least boring possible. So a patent is basically legal protection for any new invention. So let's say that you decide to create a magic carpet and you've successfully created a magic carpet. You've tested it, it works, and you can actually fly on this carpet. And it's fantastic. And the carpet runs with the power of the human mind. It's with a Bluetooth connection or something, right? So what a patent would be is if you decide to start selling this magic carpet on Amazon, let's say for $1,000, the problem is that, as soon as you start selling this magic carpet, somebody can buy it and then they can go to a supplier, send it to a supplier, reverse engineer your magic carpet, copy it, and then start making money themselves with it. But you want to prevent that. And so that's when you file a patent. So a patent is legal protection for any inventions or any unique product designs. There are two types of patents. There is a design patent and a utility patent. The most common types of patents are design patents. They're easier to file and they're easier to get approved because patents are actually something that you have to get permission from the government to get registered. So there's like a whole online government process they have to go through, and it is with the government of the US if it's a patent in the US, and if it's a patent in Canada or trademark, same thing. It's with the Canadian government. If it's a patent or trademark in Europe, then it's European, of course, right? So it depends on the jurisdiction, depends on the country you want to sell in, and that's where you would get your protection. So for the magic carpet, you file a patent for it, and what that requires is you have to submit blueprints. There's a whole process, and you work with a patent lawyer to get that properly filed. The cost of filing a patent can be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 or more. So it is expensive, and it's not something that you need at the very beginning. But if I invented a magic carpet, I would definitely want to patent it as soon as I can, because what happens is that when you get a patent on your product, you can actually protect it from any copycat. So if I saw like some random seller selling their own magic carpet, and it's very similar to what I'm selling, then I could actually send them what's called a cease and desist letter. It's like this formal legal letter that tells them, hey, you can't sell this magic carpet because I own the rights to it. I own the patent. Here is the patent number. It's registered with the government. But let's say that I only own the patent in the United States, and they decide to sell the magic carpet in, I don't know, Mongolia, okay? And I can't go and send them a cease and desist letter if they're selling in Mongolia on a random website because my patent does not cover Mongolia. My patent is only valid in the United States, right? So for me to get protection, I'm just saying as an example, Mongolia, I'd have to actually file with the patent agency of Mongolia, right? So every country has their own patent and intellectual property agency. Intellectual property is just a fancy term for patents and trademarks. Now, a trademark, let's just say I decide to call my magic carpet the Magic Flyer. We're going to call it Magic Flyer. Okay, MAGICFLYER. So if I call my magic carpet the Magic Flyer and I file a trademark for it, a trademark is the same thing as a patent, but it's not for the product design, it's for the name. So it protects the name of my product from being copied by somebody else, for that specific category. So for example, if I file a trademark for Magic Flyer, that means that nobody else can launch magic carpets under the name Magic Flyer. That's what a trademark is. An easier example is, McDonald's. They obviously own the patent for restaurants and hamburger places and things. So if I decide to open a hamburger place in America and I call it McDonald's, I'm violating their trademark. It is completely illegal, and they can easily sue me and get me shut down and basically win all legal compensation, monetary damages and things, and so on and so forth. So that's what a trademark is. A patent is legal protection for the product design. A trademark is legal protection for the name. Okay, well, how does it apply to you when you are looking to sell a product on Amazon? There's two things you need to check. You need to make sure that your product that you're thinking of selling does not violate an existing patent, and you need to make sure that your brand name that you come up with, right? So in my case, it was Magic Flyer, does not violate anybody's existing trademarks, right? There might be somebody who like came up with a trademark like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and you have no idea that they did. You can come up with a brand name, but that brand name might have been already taken like 10 years ago, and they own a trademark on it that's active, but maybe they're not even selling. You can't find them anywhere on Amazon or any website for that matter. But if you launch it under that brand name, if they still own the registered trademark, you would be violating their trademark. They can come out from the ground, find your listing, and then send you a cease and desist letter. So we want to prevent that from happening. So the two tasks are to figure out if there's a patent on your product that you want to launch, and the second task is to figure out if your brand name is already trademarked. So for the patent, one key thing to note here is that product on Amazon, just because you see a product that's already selling, doesn't mean that there is no patent on it. And just because you see a supplier on Alibaba or online selling your product doesn't mean that it's not patented. So suppliers in China, they don't really care about patents because United States patents don't apply to China. Right? So it's not their responsibility to, enforce patent from a different country, right? So they're happy to sell you the product, but you might not be allowed to sell it in America. So the key thing to note here is just because you see a product on Amazon doesn't mean that it's allowed to be sold. Just because you see a product on Alibaba doesn't mean that it's not patented. And just because you have come up with a brand name that you think is original doesn't mean it's not trademarked. So how do we actually check for patents and trademarks? We'll start off with trademarks because trademarks are a lot easier to check for. And I'm going to be using the United States Patent and Trademark Office just for this video because it's probably the most common place you're going to be looking for patents and trademarks. You're probably going to be selling in Amazon US. If you're not, I'm going to give you the list of the patent and trademark offices for the other countries as well. So the first step, and I'm going to put a link down below this video, is to go to uspto.gov/trademark/search. And when you go there, you click Trademark Search System. It's going to bring you to this page right here. And this is where you're going to put in the brand name that you have thought of. If you don't have a brand name yet, obviously you need to think of one. So in my case, let's see if Magic Flyer is taken. Okay, Magic Flyer, we can see that Magic Flyer is a dead and canceled trademark. And if we click on it, all right, it brings up like this pretty antiquated website, but it works. And here, if we click on goods and services, we can see that, okay, this trademark is canceled, so it's dead, meaning that it's no longer active. But I'm just showing you how this website works here. We can see here that they used to have a trademark in 1996. So that's when they started for printed greeting and gift cards, playthings like flying saucers and discs, and direct mail advertising. So basically flyers in the mail. Okay. But since it's a dead trademark, that's fine. Somebody else can start selling flyers under the name Magic Flyer. All right. So let me show you an existing brand on Amazon. So we have Coffee Gator, which is just an existing coffee brand on Amazon. Okay. And so they sell coffee products. And if I go on the United States Patent and Trademark Office and I type in Coffee Gator, all right, we can see here that the status is live and registered. And if I click on goods and services, we can see here that it was first used was in 2015. It was published in 2016. The date of publication is when the trademark becomes active. So when you actually file a trademark, it doesn't mean it's active right away. It actually takes like usually 6 to 12 months for somebody at the office to look at it and then basically decide if it gets filed or not. It's called an examiner, a trademark examiner. And if there's problems with your trademark, like there's already existing trademarks under the name that you filed, they're going to send you a notice of action or a letter saying that, hey, we found that there's existing trademarks. Do you want to change it? Do you want to change the class? And you can amend your application. And until there are no more issues, they're going to keep sending you that until basically, there's no more issues and you can successfully file it. So publication date is when it became active. And you can see here that it is still active today, which means that I can't just sell coffee accessories under the name Coffee Gator. But let's say that I want to use a similar brand name. Let's say that I want to sell it under Coffee with a K Gator. I still can't because they could theoretically still sue me because it's still similar enough, to be considered trademark infringement. So you do have to be reasonable with this, and you have to understand, like, hey, what would a reasonable human think? Would they be confused between Coffee Gator with a C or Coffee Gator with a K? For example, I'm sure you've seen all the fake Louis Vuittons, or for example, if I decided to sell like Yeezys at the time, they were really popular shoes, and I called them Yeezys, but like with I instead of E, still trademark infringement. It's still too similar, right? On Amazon, having a trademark gives you brand registry. And so when you are selling any product, you do need a trademark because you need to have this brand registry because this locks your listing and prevents any hijackers from selling their product on your listing. So it's very, very good. You need to have a trademark for this, but the good thing about this is that you don't need to actually have an approved trademark before you can get brand registry. So you just need an application, and then with that, they can grant you brand registry through their IP Accelerator program. So looking through trademarks here, even though there's 10,000 results, what you can do to filter it here is you can filter it by live only, so registered or pending. Also, if you see the TM, so like, the TM symbol, if you see it on a brand, you don't actually have to register a trademark to have a TM symbol. So it says here that the trademark symbol is a symbol to indicate that the preceding mark is a trademark, specifically an unregistered trademark, and it complements the registered trademark symbol, which is reserved for trademarks registered with the government agency. So when a trademark is unregistered, anybody can put a TM, and when a trademark is registered, then you put the R, right? And it's a registered trademark. So just as a quick note there. But for an effective trademark check, you want to click on live, registered, and pending, remove the dead, and then make sure that the name that you want to take is not live or registered, and I'd go through all the pages, honestly. You can also just add like quotations like this to see if there's any exact match, right? So you only have one that's exact match, right? But you also want to look through the ones that are not an exact match just to make sure that you're not going to name something that's too similar. And as a quick note here, let's say I was selling barbecue accessories, but I'm going to call it Coffee Gator. Obviously, that wouldn't be a good idea, but technically I'm allowed because Coffee Gator is only a trademark in the coffee accessories goods and services class, right? As you can see here, class 21. So the government has a whole list of classes for all the different products out there. And basically a trademark only protects products in specific classes. So that's how to find a trademark on the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Now I'm going to show you patents. So the easiest way to see if the product that you want to sell has a patent is to go on patents.google.com, and you can go here and type in the main keywords for your product. For example, teeth grinding mouthpiece, right? I know that this is a patented product. So it's like a sleep apnea anti-snoring system. A lot of these products are very, very patented. It's like a thing that kind of goes in your mouth. And there's been a lot of Amazon sellers that have sold this product. But the problem is it has so many IP issues with it that, it's just you're entering dangerous territory. And the problem with patent searches is that, this website, Google Patents, doesn't only show American patents. It also shows, as you can see, Japan, China, US, right? These are the country codes. And there's like so many pages, right? And not all of them are the product that you are actually looking at. There's 6,231 results. So it can be very tedious to go through this. And that's why you can get a patent check on Fiverr. So the website is called fiverr.com. Like this, and you can just go and type in patent check. Now, these are not actual lawyers, okay? So these might be people overseas, but they do patent checks every day, and you cannot assume that what they're giving you is legal advice. You're basically just paying somebody who will go through the 6,000 results and tell you if they find anything, because it's, for $8 or $10 or $20. As you can see here, you can pay somebody to, check for you. And if they find something, you've saved yourself, thousands of dollars of lost inventory. Because if you sell something that's patented, as soon as it gets into the warehouse, or as soon as you launch the product, the competitor can just send you a cease and desist, and you have to dump your inventory. You can't do anything about it, and you lose that money. We don't want that to happen, obviously. So this is a good way. It's pretty cheap, and you can just hire one of them. It is not legal advice, and they might miss something, yes. If you want an actual lawyer to check for you, and you really, really want to make sure, then yes, you can hire a patent lawyer. You just go on Google and type in patent check lawyer, USA. Right? Lawyers with a W. And, there's there's a variety of different attorneys out there that will conduct a patent search for you, but that can be expensive. It can be, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, versus on Fiverr, it's only, $10, $20, $30, but they're not lawyers. Just remember that. How I check for patents and trademarks, I just go through it. I check myself, and yeah, even though it takes time, I'd rather just do it, in a few days, however long it takes to get through all the results. And, to make sure that I don't miss anything. But that's just how I do it personally. One more thing about Google Patents is that when you actually are searching for a patent on Google, I'm going to show you what that looks like, whether it's a live or dead patent. For example, this is an open patent right here. This is a United States patent. We can see here that it was applied it was filed by this company November 30th, 2017, and it became active in 2019, as you can see. And it's expiring in 2037, right? So clearly it's active until 2037. If it does not say granted, it's going to say dead or expired. Then that means you're good to go, but obviously make sure you do a complete patent check or you hire somebody to do it for you. The next way to search for trademarks and patents is using WIPO, which is the World Intellectual Property Organization. And if you go there, WIPO patents and trademarks are actually trademarks and patents that are protected internationally. It's also called a Madrid patent. So you can go through here, you can do your patent search, and I would recommend filing a WIPO if you really are building a global brand. Usually a United States patent or trademark is enough, and maybe a few, like one in Canada if you're going to sell in Canada and a few in Europe. You can also just Google, let's say, the brand name that you want to call your product, and then put in trademark, and you're going to see a lot of results from websites like Justia that basically pull results from what I showed you here, the USPTO and international patent and trademark websites. You can do the same thing for patents as well. Remember that I'm not a lawyer. I'm just giving you information that I learned myself, and you can do whatever you want with it. But I hope that you learned from it. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to a professional, somebody with a law degree and somebody who is actually licensed, because you want to be sure if you're going to start a business, you don't want to be infringing on anybody's intellectual property. So now that all the patent and trademark boring stuff is over, I actually put together a free crash course where I show you how to actually start selling on Amazon, and not only how to sell on Amazon, but how to access the amazing opportunities to make money with Amazon that exists today, whether that's with freelancing, starting an Amazon FBA remote job, or doing Amazon FBA consulting, or starting an e-commerce agency where you can charge brands thousands of dollars per month to actually run their brands for them. The link for that is down below. It's completely free. Check it out. It's going to show you how to start today. Subscribe to the channel, put a notification bell on. I actually do live mentorship sessions every single Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. You can tune in and I'll answer any questions that you have, and we cover a different topic every week to do with e-commerce. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.